Hi kids, I'm here in Afghanistan, one of colonialism's more successful legacies. Did you know it snows in Afghanistan? Did you know US forces are still in Afghanistan? If you said no to both, lucky you, you're probably an American. Today, we're gonna read a book. Let's see what we find out. Ugh. It's cold out there. We're in the USO. It's a nice, snuggly library. And today, we're going to be joined by our friend, Ferdinand. Shall we begin? Waylon, Griffin, Lily, LMA, join me once upon a time in Spain. A castle is Spain. That's how you know it's Spain. There was a little bull, and his name was Ferdinand. See that little bull? All the other little bulls he lived with would run and jump and butt their heads together. They loved playing. But not Ferdinand, all alone over here. He liked to just sit quietly and smell the flowers. He had a favorite spot out in the pasture under a cork tree. It was his favorite tree, and he would sit in its shade all day and smell the flowers. He wouldn't destroy the flowers, Waylon. He'd sit under them quietly. Sometimes his mother, who was a cow, would worry about him. She was afraid he would be lonesome all by himself. "Why don't you run and play with the other little bulls and skip and butt your head?" she would say. But Ferdinand, he would shake his head. "I like it better here, where I can just sit quietly and smell the flowers." He's a peaceful bull. His mother saw that he was not lonesome, and because she was an understanding mother, even though she was a cow, she let him just sit there and be happy. Not sure what that "even though she was a cow" editorializing is. As the years went by and Ferdinand grew and grew, he became very big and strong. Ooh, that's a big bull. All the other bulls who had grown up with him in the same pasture would fight each other all day. They would butt each other and stick each other with their horns. What they wanted most of all was to be picked to fight at the bullfights in Madrid. Yes, I'm sure that's exactly what they wanted. Ooh, see? Look, bullfight. Bullfight in Madrid. I'm sure your mothers love bullfights. Have you ever been to a bullfight? Ask your parents. But not Ferdinand. He still liked to just sit quietly under the cork tree, and smell the flowers. See? One day, 5 men came in very funny hats to pick the biggest, fastest, roughest bull to fight in the bullfights in Madrid. Yep, very funny hats. All the other bulls ran around snorting and butting, leaping and jumping so the men would think that they were very strong and fierce and pick them. But Ferdinand knew that they wouldn't pick him. He didn't really care. So he went out to his favorite cork tree to sit down. They're not going to pick Ferdinand, not unless something crazy were to happen. Ferdinand, well, he didn't look where he was sitting. And instead of sitting on the nice cool grass in the shade, He sat on a bumblebee. Well, if you were a bumblebee and a bull sat on you, what would you do? You would sting him. And that is just what this bee did to poor Ferdinand. Bee stings are uncomfortable. Wow, did it hurt. Ferdinand jumped up with a snort. He ran around puffing and snorting, butting and pawing the ground as if he were crazy. Look at how crazy he is. Nut job. The 5 men saw him and they all shouted with joy. Here was the largest and fiercest bull of all, just the one for the bullfights in Madrid. But Ferdinand doesn't want to fight in the bullfights. Doesn't matter. They took him away for the bullfight in a cart. Look, see, there's Ferdinand in a cart. Leave him alone, guys. What a day it was. Flags were flying, bands were playing, and all the lovely ladies had flowers in their hair. Spain was a very gender-normative society. They had a parade into the bull ring. First came the banderilleros. I think that's right. First came the banderilleros with long sharp pins with ribbons to stick in the bull and make him mad. Yep, that's how we're going to describe this to children. They're going to stick him in the bull and make him mad. Next came the picadores. That sounds right. Picadores who rode skinny horses and they had long spears to stick in the bull and make him even madder. I'm suddenly beginning to think I may have forgotten how this child's book plays out. Nope. Never mind. Then came the matador, the proudest of all. He thought he was very handsome, and he bowed to all the ladies. He had a red cape and a sword and was supposed to stick the bull last of all. That's the matador. He's a jerk. Then came the bull. And you know who that was, don't you? It was little Ferdinand. Little Ferdinand, he doesn't want to fight. He's a peace-loving bull. They called him Ferdinand the Fierce, and all the banderilleros were afraid of him, and the picadores were afraid of him, and the matador was scared stiff. Look how scared they are. Ferdinand ran to the middle of the ring. Everyone shouted and clapped. They thought he was going to fight fiercely and butt and snort and stick his horns around. Look. Big ring. There's Ferdinand just out there all alone. That's not what he did though. Ferdinand, when he got to the middle of the ring, he saw the flowers in all the lovely ladies' hair, and he just sat down quietly, and he smelled. He wouldn't fight and be fierce no matter what they did. He just sat and smelled. And the banderilleros were mad, and the pecadores were madder, and the matador was so mad he cried because he couldn't show off with his cape and sword. But it was nice at least that he embraced his feelings. Anyway, they had to take Ferdinand home. And for all I know, he's sitting there still, under his favorite cork tree, smelling the flowers, just quietly. Ferdinand is very happy. Wasn't that fun? We'll see you next time.